Welcome back to another episode of the hosting game. And today we're going to do something different, y'all. This is going to be a new segment where we dive into some real life Airbnb horror stories. We're going to go through it together. I'm going to give some ideas, some feedback on what I think, and we're going to learn together and see how the situation goes. All right. So the first story we have here, I got it queued up here. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Two things out of the way. Number one is that it's thanks to God that I did not end up sleeping on a park bench last night. And number two, my dad is slightly homophobic. And my mother, our relationship is in God's hands. So that's the reason I didn't resort to calling them, if you're wondering why. Now, this is a long story, so get your snacks and fall back while you follow with me on how I almost became homeless. If you've been following me for a while, you know I go to Columbia University. So I had to move out of my college dorm on one day, but I have like a month break before my summer internship starts. So I was looking for Airbnb to cover that month's time. So I paid $1,500 for Airbnb. Thank God I was able to afford that thanks to my business, social media, and my part-time job.
Okay.
The Airbnb I found was giving nice and affordable. It was cute. It was in Manhattan, which is close to my part-time job, and I'm familiar with the area because I go to Columbia. And it just really hit everything I was kind of looking for at a nice price budget. Now, one thing I do want to go ahead and disclose is the host had disclosed that she was a lawyer. Keep that in the back of your head as I tell this story.
I don't know why somebody would tell you that they're a lawyer, but I guess, I don't know. They're in New York City. We operate out of Atlanta. So I don't know. Even if I was in New York, I don't think I would tell people that I'm a lawyer, though.
Now, the Airbnb was booked 2-3 weeks before move-out day. On move-out day, I'm waiting for my movers to come get my packages from Columbia. So I text the host and I'm like, I should be there in 1 to 2 hours. She texts me back. She's like, okay, that's fine. Just let me know when you're on the way. So the movers come get my stuff. I'm in the lift on the way there and I'm like, hey, I'm on the way. Should be there in 30 minutes. She's like, okay, cool. Can you just reread the house rules and confirm that everything is okay? So I'm reading the rules again and I'm just like, oh, okay. I noticed two things that caught me off guard. One is that there's a no shoe policy. I don't know about y'all, but I'm very uncomfortable wearing my socks or just like bare feet in somebody else's house. It's just kind of different for me. And then number two, she said we have a no trace left behind policy. So she was like, if you cook something, make sure you go ahead and wash the dishes. Don't leave any dishes in the sink at any point. That's a violation. And my
Okay, hold on. So, two things. I have heard of hosts asking guests to take their shoes off inside. Now, this is the thing. Most of the time, it's because the host has a very, very, very light carpet, and they trying their hardest to keep it clean. So they might ask you leave your shoes at the door just to help keep the carpet clean. Now, that's not the guest's fault necessarily, but that is the thing that happens. Some hosts, they get units, and the carpet is too light. So they do ask you to take your shoes off, but the no trace behind, that's a little crazy. We gonna keep listening to the story, but it sounds like the host she's a little just uptight a little bit. Let's see.
house, we typically would do something like put the dishes in the sink, and at the end of the day, somebody just washes all the dishes for the day, unless it just really gets piled up. She was like, if you cook, make sure you also sweep, wipe everything down, this and this. But I'm thinking, okay, if you having this no trace left behind policy, no shoe policy, I'm thinking it's going to be really fucking clean. Boy, was I wrong. I keep these two in the back of my mind, but the only one I end up telling her about is the no shoe policy, because I was like, I know I'm going to forget that. So I tell her and I'm like, hey, I'm just foreign to this no shoe policy. Just want to give you a heads up. If I happen to wear shoes, I'll gladly take them off. Just let me know. And she was like, yeah, if it comes up, I'll definitely raise the issue or whatever. But I'm looking forward to hosting you. Everything should go good. Now, when I get to the Airbnb,
So he communicates well. I like the way he communicates. And this is a good guess. If they telling you stuff up front, they communicating. 9 times out of 10, they not going to get in there and do anything too crazy. And if they do, at least they'll tell you.
Carrying my luggage, and she offers to carry my heaviest luggage. So I'm thinking, oh, this is so nice. I'm excited to get up in the apartment. I get up in the apartment. The room does not really look like the pictures. It looks similar. What really caught me off guard was that the blinds were broken and it's really small, and there was no desk. I dropped my stuff off, and she was like, are you ready?
Did y'all hear that? Big Jim, Big Jim. It don't matter where your listing is located. Give people an option to work. A desk. You got to have a desk in every single unit. I don't care if it's a condo, a big house, a tiny house, anything. Make sure you got a desk in there, because he's complaining about it. And they in Manhattan. You never would think that people would go to that area to work, but hey, that's a busy area. It's a lot of work travelers in that area, so make sure you got a desk in every single unit. That's a major key.
To do a walkthrough of the house. I was like, I mean, yeah. So we start doing a walkthrough of the house, and she mentions that, like, oh, my sister just cleaned. And I was just like, oh, okay, that's fine. Everything else looks like the pictures. The living room looks like the pictures. Then we get to the bathroom. When we get to the bathroom, I was like, oh, here, she opens up the cabinets. They were not clean. They were dirty. She opens up the medicine cabinet, nasty. I was like, oh no. Y'all, at that point, I was like, I dismiss it, because I'm just like, I didn't plan on using that. Anywho, the toilet and the sink were clean. The shower looked clean. I was like, it should be fine. Now, when we're in the bathroom, I smell bug spray. I know what y'all are thinking, but I dismissed it. I dismissed it because I'm thinking she just told me that the sister had cleaned. So I'm like, okay.
It's a
And
nice
it's
guess. He
like, it's
just
good to
missing
be
a lot.
preventative. You know what I'm saying? She ends up showing me where I can put my groceries at, little stuff like that. That's the end of it. Later that night, I ended up getting some Wingstop, and then I got really tired after eating it. So I was like, let me take a shower and just chill or whatever. So I go to move my suitcase. Tell me why I see a fucking roach. I was like, oh, hell no. Baby, I almost had a panic attack. So I go out in the hallway. I'm on the phone with my homegirl. I'm like, hey, I just saw a roach. I feel like I need to get on the phone with support or something. This is nasty. I can't be doing this. My homegirl, like, Camden, you really jumping the gun on this one because you ain't even get a host time to respond about the roach. My mind, I'm like, this a roach, though. The roach was small, y'all. So I'm thinking, if it's a small roach, there got to be a bigger one somewhere.
Oh,
I'm like, nah, this
true.
not gonna work. Long story short, I get on the phone with support. Support talking about, yeah, in order for us to give you a full refund, we need proof of an infestation. What?
That
My
sounds
nigga,
just like them.
please don't play with me right now.
That sounds just like support. They're to support, but they not really there to support you, for real. Unfortunately, that's something that the company need to. Airbnb, y'all need to work on that.
Infestation. I'm talking about, I asked y'all how y'all define an infestation. They're talking about, y'all, we need to see several cockroaches. Several cockroach. What the fuck is you talking about? I'm like, oh hell no. So I'm over here stressed out because keep in mind I was so distraught by seeing the roach I didn't even record it. And they're talking about we need documentation. So I go in the kitchen and I'm about to start like fixing something else to eat. I probably shouldn't use a pot. You know, a roach probably been crawling on that pot. So I was like,
Yo, let me tell you, no lie, things like this do happen. Like as a host, we didn't have a situation like this happen. It wasn't due to it wasn't our fault at all. You already know if you in apartment buildings and you doing a shared living style, if your neighbor show any signs of any type of bug action, 9 times out of 10 those bugs can get over to your house. It don't matter what you do. We did everything. We got blockers for the door. We do our own exterminations. They can still travel. Like they can still get over there. And the worst thing that can happen is a guest like this see a bug. They gonna think everything dirty. Whole time it might not even be your fault as a host, but they gonna think everything in there dirty. And the bug could have came from like next door, like same day. And they gonna think everything in there is dirty. So, tip: if you're doing like apartment style living or even like anywhere, make sure you do exterminating services. Don't just depend on if you're in an apartment style, the building, you might have to follow up behind them and get your own. Because if somebody, as they should, I'm not gonna lie, if I was to see something like that, it would be uncomfortable for me too. But I understand how it is from a host perspective. Sometimes it's not even your fault; it's your neighbor. But once they see anything, it don't have to be a roach. It could be a messy bathroom. It could be a stain on the bed sheet. Once they see one thing, the whole apartment is questionable.
let me just put something in the microwave. You know how in a nice apartment or house or whatever, you'll have like a microwave that's attached to a cabinet, and then you'll have a stove, and then there's like a little backdrop between the stove and the microwave.
Mm-hmm.
I look on the backdrop, bitch, I see another fucking roach.
Ooh, now see y'all, I can't back this. Nothing like this ever happened in any of my place. It won't like this. It sounds like they might actually got some type of infestation going on.
At
This
this
is a
point,
horror
I'm
story.
pissed the fuck off because I really want to go cuss that bitch out. Because why the fuck you got me in your house with some fucking roaches? Why the fuck is your shit on Airbnb? That shit pissed me off. I should have rocked her shit. Anyways, this time I'm thinking smart. I'm like, Kim, you need to record this. I get out the phone, I record the roach. Then I went up in that nasty ass bathroom and recorded those damn cabinets, recorded some more shit in the room, and I'm like, yeah. So then we give that to Airbnb. Now Airbnb talking about we need 1 hour to let the host try to respond. I give
Because
them
he
an
hasn't
hour to
said
talk
nothing
to
about the
her.
host
I
responding.
told her how I had saw a roach. I get back from getting to McDonald's. Airbnb talking about, yeah, we don't really have proof of like an infestation. And I was like, do y'all want me to go to the piece of fried chicken on the counter? How do y'all want me to prove that there's an infestation? Like, what the fuck? And so, anywho, they're like, well, the host hasn't responded now, so now we can give you a full refund. But if you want a full refund, you gotta leave right now. Like, leave right now. Like, yeah, you gotta leave right now. Or you can stay until the morning. But if you stay until the morning, you don't get a full refund, and the host might try to resolve the issue. And I'm like, resolve the issue? Remember how I told y'all that the host was a lawyer? I was like, that's an unfair playing field because who's telling what she might say to get these people to think that this issue was resolved? I don't have time.
Let me tell you though, right here, speaking from a fellow host, if you do want to cancel, I've been in situations. We've been in situations where we've had to give full refunds back. It just is what it is. It's better to make sure the customer is good than to go back and forth sometimes, right? But from the guest side, if you want a full refund and the situation is so bad that you need to A, contact them, and B, you want all your money back, and I need to apologize and make up for everything, then I don't understand why you don't want to leave like right now. Now I understand if it's late or whatever at night, Yeah, but if it's in a reasonable time for you to just leave, if it's that bad, head out, right?
For that. I was like, I'll let it go. So I'll go. Also, at the end of the day, how can you resolve roaches? You can't resolve roaches
You can't though.
overnight. What you gonna do? Bomb the house and tell us to leave or something? Nah. Mm-mm. At this point, it's 2 a.m. I start packing up my groceries that I had ordered and things like that. As I'm packing up my groceries, I see a third roach. In my
Oh,
mind, I'm like, this is the third roach I didn't see
yeah.
in 8 hours. Keep in mind, the house was never dark. I had lights on in the house. There was another roommate who had lights on. People is walking around. If you got roaches coming out when people is around walking, I can't imagine how many roaches are going to come out when it's dark. So I'm
Oh,
like, nah,
yeah.
we got to get the fuck up out of here quickly. So I'm packing my stuff up and getting ready to go. I got my homegirl still on the phone. She over here looking for hotel rooms for me. Where I'm from, a hotel room costing you $1 to $150 is a decently good hotel. So I'm expecting the same prices. Everything me and my homegirl finding on the phone is 200 plus per night. And
Ooh.
meanwhile, at this point, it's about 3, 4 a.m. And they talking about, yeah, you gonna have to pay tonight, and you still gonna have to be out at 11 a.m. So low key,
Ooh.
I need about 2 nights in the hotel room off rip. Mind you, they are giving me a full refund for the Airbnb, but it's gonna take 5 to 15 business days to get back to my
Mm,
account. So a bitch is on a very low budget. 15 business days is 3 weeks. What the fuck? I'm like, yeah, this is crazy. The cheapest hotel room me and my homegirl found was in New Jersey. So at 4 a.m., I get in a Lyft to go to New Jersey to go to a Days Inn.
damn.
Days Inn fucking hotel. I get to the low budget hotel, I slap a bonnet on, and I'm like, let's go. Now, keep in mind, I told y'all I'm 18 years old. You have to be 21 to get a hotel room. Thank God I had a fake ID on me that I was able to use at this hotel room, because otherwise I would have been on a park bench. You're probably wondering, Kim, why didn't you just stay at the
No.
Airbnb? I told y'all that she might try to resolve the issue. I'm not doing it. I'm not staying with no roaches because I am paranoid about roaches. I feel like if you have roaches in your home, I need to wake up in the middle of the night and slap my face to make sure that there's not a roach crawling on my face. I need to cough extra hard at night to make sure
No.
there's not a roach crawling down my throat. I don't play those games. Anyways, I take myself to bed that night. I wake up the next morning and I'm like, yeah, we got to get on business. So I call Airbnb up. They're talking about we can only reimburse you 20% of your hotel.
Boy, let me tell you, from a host, Airbnb is the most non-helpful like representatives ever. Like, if you going through a situation with your host and you're a guest on Airbnb, it's better for you to just resolve it with the host and try to resolve it in a positive way. Because most hosts, if you come at them in a positive way, they already know like what happened is wrong, right? And if you're dealing with a host like us, 9 times out of 10, you don't even have to get this far. We're gonna be apologizing. We're gonna be already, gave your money back. And the good thing about having multiple units is that you can move the guests to a whole separate location that is not having a problem like that at all. And it'll be easy for them, and you can get things solved faster. You don't have to deal with the back and forth because Airbnb it makes it worse for the guests. So if you can, as a host, try to resolve it as fast as possible with the guests because you don't want them to have to go through this. It just makes it worse. Airbnb is not helpful and it just drags out the process. When you already know the problem is yours, you gotta fix it. The house has bugs. It's too many in there. They gotta leave. So as a host, I'm trying to figure out why this host hasn't already kind of jumped in on this story. It sounds like he's just going back and forth with Airbnb, which in my opinion is not good customer service from the host perspective. They should have already been on the phone with them, talking to them, letting them know, whatever type of solution they had came to. He shouldn't be going back and forth with Airbnb about his money and things like that. So this is, in my opinion, this is very bad on the host part for sure. The guests didn't do anything wrong. The host is just not. They're not really being a good host.
I'm like, what? They over here acting like it's not their fault that they had a host on here that got roaches. I'm like, man, y'all not really talking about nothing. So then I'm like trying to figure out something else with them. Took me about 5, 6 hours. They ended up giving me a coupon for $460 to cover a week in a hotel.
Oh,
I'm like, bet. So I think
that's
I'm up
generous.
now. I'm thinking like we finna get this thing. God done worked it out. Wrong. Wrong, wrong. I request the book and the host just doesn't respond. So now I have to wait. I have to wait 24 hours for them, and they never ended up responding. When they don't respond, that fell through. So when the host doesn't respond, I'm trying to find other Airbnbs, but they was higher than the 460. They was like $700, $800. Now y'all probably wondering, Kim, why didn't you
Oh,
just
they gave them okay. So they gave them a voucher for another spot. This happens too sometimes.
go ahead and pay for that? I was not in the place to pay the difference on the Airbnb. I wasn't in the place to because, mind you, I still haven't got my $1,500 back because that refund is taking 5 to 15 business days. So interning this summer, and I have to pay for Airbnb for that. That's over another $1,000 I have to pay for it. And I had to just pay $500 to stay in this hotel. So I'm really not I'm on a very
He on a
strict,
budget.
tight, low budget
That's
right now.
understandable.
I got other expenses I have to pay for. So paying the difference was not in the fortunes for me. So then I'm over here keep trying to get them to give me a higher coupon. They not hearing it. They like, we you gotta figure that out. You know what I'm saying? And then the whole time while I'm at this hotel, they not paying for no meals. I'm only getting reimbursed the 20%. And then the cleaning lady, not even the cleaning, like the cleaning man is over here trying to get freaky with me. I'm like, hell no.
Oh,
Finally,
God.
I keep calling them. Eventually, my homegirl, a different homegirl, gets on the phone with me. We're able to talk to them. They finally give me a higher coupon so I can get into a nicer Airbnb. And
Okay,
so
good.
I want to say thank you to God for continuing to work things out for me, for my ambition, for my support circle, so I could get to a nicer Airbnb. Because otherwise, I don't really know where I would be right now. 9 times out of 10, I would have been on
Wow.
a park bench. Thank you for hearing my story today, and stop booking with Airbnb.
That is a horror story. I ain't gonna lie. The host was terrible. The house had roaches. I'm sorry, it's just unacceptable. Like I said, we ran into a situation like that before. Just to be real, it wasn't our fault. It was a while ago. It wasn't our fault, and it wasn't as many. It was like one, but still, a bug is a bug. And if people see a bug, you can't make no excuses for it. You can't go ghost on your people. You really gotta just own up to it. You can't make excuses for it. You can't make it like a little thing because everybody ain't used to bugs. People not just gonna be okay with that. So definitely 0L host. The host was not responsive, and Airbnb was terrible. But what's new? Airbnb, they not really supportive when it comes to situations like this. So like I said, definitely try to reach out with your host if you're a guest and you're going through something, because I guarantee you, if you be cool with the host and just let them know how you feel, more than likely they will work with you if they are a good host. Because if they know that something is done and it was their fault, they gotta step up to it if they are a good host. But like I said, L host, not a good host, and I already know this guy's not gonna ever book with this person again. I'm pretty sure he gave them a terrible, terrible, terrible review, and unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that they probably booked somebody else right after that, and that same person probably had to go through the same thing this guy did. That's just how it goes, y'all. Sometimes the hosts they just not in it for the service, really. They just in it for the bread. That's how it go. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Like I said, this is a new segment we're going to be doing where we go through different Airbnb horror stories and we talk about it. I'll give you my opinion on it, how I feel about it, and we can learn something new together. Until the next time.